Hi, I'd like to talk about something that's not always prominently known or discussed when it comes to intuitive, psychic, and medium development and awareness. And that is the difference between our spirit and our ego thinking mind, the mind chatter, and how that can complicate things. It can block our receptivity, and it can also strengthen our ability to receive energy information and help us and help with the clarity of what we receive. But we have to know the difference between the two and how to focus our awareness more on our spirit and not the chattering mind. What we usually do is we usually focus our awareness, our attention on that mind chatter. And it can come up in such ways as having an expectation about how we should receive energy information, how it should come in through our seeing images or knowing emotional receptivity, whatever it might be, that it should come in a way that our mind chatter can accept and understand. It also can come in as doubts, not believing that we can be intuitive or feeling even some stress about it and fear even about what am I going to receive. Our spirit is where our intuition, our ability to receive energy information, psychic information, and communicate with the other side, with guides, higher beings, is centered in our spirit. Our spirit and our ego thinking mind are kind of in opposite directions. They're going in other, they're not meeting in the middle necessarily in an easy way. Our thinking brain wants control. It wants to be the dominant force and it wants our attention. Our spirit is much more gentle. It's more mild. It's not kind of clamoring for listen to me, listen to me. It has a very prominent role in our lives and in our development, but it's usually behind the scene, even though it exerts an incredible amount of power in our lives, in everyday life. Sometimes, it's our spirit that surprises us, either with things that don't go our way or with things that really bring us a lot of joy and happiness. It gets our attention through a different means than the thinking ego brain. It gets our attention more through intuition, through synchronicities, through our dreams, and through the events of our lives, the things that kind of come about that we're not planning, the things that work for us and the things that don't work for us. Things that don't work for us are often meant from our spirit as redirection in our life. The doors that open are also direction. However, we usually think of that as luck and chance. We don't really realize that it's our spirit that's orchestrating most of our life. It's not as random as it may seem. When it comes to our intuition, we can gain incredible insights about ourselves, about others, about all kinds of things. But we have to lean into our spirit more. We have to begin to trust that part of ourselves more. And it's hard to do when there's a chattering voice there telling us not to trust that, to listen, get the kind of evidence that that thinking, chattering brain really wants to do. One of the beginning ways that you can begin to strengthen your spirit is recognizing when the chattering voice is trying to get your attention and not giving it so much space in your being. Notice it's there, but you don't have to listen to it and you don't have to argue with it and you don't have to try to block it either, because whatever we give energy to is going to expand. It's going to get stronger. And when we try to focus in a way of blocking energy, it doesn't go away. It gets our, we're making a connection with it. So it's really even a stronger part of us. So it's to recognize it's there, but not to give that much attention. Just like, it's there, kind of like a fly. Yeah, I hear you, I hear you, but let it go. Now, to connect with our spirit more, we have to kind of become comfortable with not knowing. We have to become comfortable with energy that doesn't appeal to that thinking brain. It comes in more subtly. You know, that's one of the prime reasons we meditate is to connect with our spirit, to hear it more, to listen more. And of course, meditation is a wonderful way to connect with our spirit, to just be in our presence, our being. When we're doing intuitive work, it is connecting with our spirit. We don't recognize that because we kind of think that it's some kind of, process that we can go through where we can kind of control it. And, that thinking brain is kind of, again, do this, be clairvoyant, be claircognizant, follow these abilities and practice these abilities, which is great. I mean, I think that's wonderful to do. However, we have to do it with the awareness of our spirit leading the way. And our spirit comes through more subtly. It comes through as a soft, still voice, as images, but light, easy. Sometimes again, that thinking brain will start to think that an image is our imagination. Don't fight it. Fine, let it be our imagination. If there's energy behind it, it will start to take on its own life. One of the biggest ways that we interfere with our intuition is trying to understand it too quickly, trying to place meaning on it in a way that we understand and want it to be. Now, we can have all that. It's not that we're not going to have that. The difference is that when we allow energy, our spirit, to reveal a message, to reveal guidance to us, it's going to take some quiet listening, not interfering, not jumping to, oh, tell me this, tell me that, just allowing energy to flow in and allowing the interpretation of that energy to flow in, but having patience with it. Don't feel like you have to know right away. It may take some time at first to kind of allow the image to flow or whatever way it comes in, a still small voice, guidance through our heart, through a sense of deep feeling about something. There's so many different ways that energy information can flow in. However, when it comes to the interpretation, know that it's also going to come in as an intuitive part of us from our spirit. Too often we jump into trying to figure it out through our brain, through our mind. And that doesn't tend to work out as well as it does to allow it to flow in. Eventually, it will happen if we're patient. Sometimes it won't happen for a day or two, especially at first. Eventually, as our spirit strengthens and we trust it more and we listen to it more, it will start to flow in more spontaneously, more automatically. And in addition to these kinds of things, trust your dreams. Our spirit can reveal itself through our dreams and also through our day-to-day synchronicities. So when we start to focus on knowing and listening and connecting with our spirit more, begin to notice these things, begin to let it flow. The more we allow that to happen, the stronger it's going to be. And the more we're going to trust it. And it will become just an automatic kind of moving through the day instead of, this constant back and forth between listening to our mind chatter and allowing that to direct our awareness of our spirit. Well, that just doesn't work. Okay. Thank you.